The tram rattled into Piccadilly Station at 23:47, 3 minutes late and half empty. Eleanor Hayes stood on the platform clutching a paper bag that smelled of vinegar and chips, her coat unbuttoned despite the November bite. At 68, she still moved like someone expecting the floor to tilt. She had come to Manchester for one night only, to watch her grandson Jack play the cello in the RNCM's winter concert. The program notes called him a prodigy. Eleanor called him the boy who once fell asleep on her sofa mid-sentence, mouth open, trusting the world to stay gentle. The tram doors hissed. She climbed aboard, chose a seat facing backwards, habit from childhood, when her father said it made the journey feel like leaving your worries behind. The carriage smelled of wet wool and fried onions. A drunk student sang Wonderwall under his breath. Eleanor smiled without meaning to. Across the aisle sat a girl, no more than 16, hood up, knees drawn to chest. Her phone screen lit her face the color of milk. Every few seconds she glanced at the doors as if expecting someone who never arrived. Eleanor knew that look. She had worn it herself in 1972, waiting for a letter that came back returned to sender. The tram lurched toward St. Peter's Square. The girl's phone buzzed. She read the message and pressed her fist to her mouth. A single tear slid down the slope of her cheek and vanished into the collar of her hoodie. Eleanor's fingers tightened on the paper bag. The chips were cold now, congealing into a single yellow brick. She had bought them for Jack. He still ate like food might run out. But the usher had said no eating in the concert hall. Love, the word left Eleanor's mouth before she could stop it. Mancunian vowels, soft as suet. The girl looked up, startled. "You'll catch your death without a proper coat." Eleanor held out the bag. "Chip," the girl hesitated, then took one. Salt bloomed between them like a small truce. "Ta," she whispered, her voice cracked on the single syllable. The tram announced Market Street. The girl stood, swaying. "Next stop's mine," she said, though her eyes said, "I don't want to go." Eleanor saw the bruise blooming beneath the girl's left eye, fresh as spilled ink. "Sit a minute," she patted the seat. "Tram's warm, world can wait." The girl sat. The doors closed. They rolled on. They did not exchange names. In Manchester, sometimes that is mercy. The girl told her story in fragments, the way you drop coins into a meter, careful counting. Her name was Lily. She lived in a high-rise in Ordsall with a mum who worked nights at the hospital and a stepdad who got loud when the pub shut. Tonight he had thrown her phone at the wall because dinner was late. Lily had grabbed her coat and run. She had £4.30 and a bus pass that expired at midnight. "I just wanted to see the Christmas lights," she said. "Thought if I stayed out long enough, he'd be asleep." Eleanor listened the way her own mother once had, eyes on the knitting, ears wide open. When Lily finished, the tram was passing the cathedral, its stone glowing amber against the dark. "My stop's next," Lily lied. Eleanor reached into her handbag and pulled out a key on a red ribbon. The key was old, brass-worn, smooth. "This opens the side gate at my house in Didsbury. Number 42, big sycamore in the front. If you ever need somewhere quiet, you let yourself in. Back doors unlocked till morning. Kettle's on the left." Lily stared at the key as if it might bite. "I can't. You're not asking, I'm offering." Eleanor pressed it into Lily's palm and folded the girl's fingers over it. "My Jack's at Uni Halls tonight. House is too big for one old woman anyway." The tram slowed for Deansgate Castlefield. Lily stood again, this time steady. "Thank you," she said, and meant it with her whole chest. Eleanor watched her disappear into the swirl of late-night shoppers and taxi lights. The key was gone, but the ribbon fluttered from Lily's pocket like a tiny flag of surrender. She rode to the end of the line, then back again, because the driver knew her, knew most of the night owls by sight, and let her stay aboard without comment. At 1:12 a.m., the tram terminated at East Didsbury. Eleanor walked the last half-mile home beneath street lamps that flickered like tired eyelids. The house was dark. She left the porch light on, a habit from when her husband Tom used to work late shifts at the printworks. Tom had been gone 12 years now. The light still burned for him, and tonight for someone else. She filled the kettle, set out 2 mugs, though only one would be used. On the table, she placed a plate of bourbon biscuits and a note in her careful schoolteacher handwriting. "Tea in the blue tin. Milk in fridge. Spare room has clean sheets. Wake me if you need anything." Then she went to bed fully dressed, shoes by the door in case footsteps sounded on the gravel. They came at 3:07 a.m. Soft, uncertain. Eleanor was downstairs before the kettle boiled a second time. Lily stood in the doorway, coat dripping, eyes swollen but dry. "I didn't know where else," she said. Eleanor took the coat, hung it on the radiator. "Cuppa." They drank tea strong enough to stand a spoon in. Lily's hands shook so badly the mug rattled against her teeth. Eleanor pretended not to notice. When the girl finally spoke, it was about music. My school band's playing carols at the Trafford Center tomorrow. I'm meant to sing solo. Thought I'd miss it. You won't, Eleanor said. You'll sleep, then we'll find you something warm to wear. My niece left a dress here. Size 10 should fit. Lily looked at her then, really looked. Why are you doing this? Eleanor thought of Jack at 6 years old, learning Friar Jacques on a plastic recorder that squeaked like a mouse. Of Tom humming it off-key while ironing school shirts. Of the night the ambulance took him and the silence that followed, thick as dust. Because someone did it for me once, she said, and the debt's still unpaid. Morning arrived pale and reluctant. Eleanor ironed the dress, navy velvet, slightly outdated but clean. Lily showered, borrowed a hairbrush, emerged looking almost like the girl in the program photo Eleanor had seen online. Lily Adebio, year 11, soloist. They caught the 42 bus into town. Eleanor paid both fares before Lily could protest. At the Trafford Center, the band was already tuning, violins scraping, a lone trumpet warming up. Lily's conductor, a harassed woman with a clipboard, spotted them and nearly dropped her baton. Lily, we thought, never mind, 5 minutes to stage. Lily turned to Eleanor. The bruise had darkened to plum, but her eyes were bright. Will you watch?